Oh, I'll test it just to make sure it's working, and then you need to share audio. Mm. Now I can't hear you, so that's bad.
You're share you're sharing your screen right now, by the way, if you're intending to.
I'm not intending to, so how do I not share my screen?
The stop at the
Oh, stop.
no, hold on. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, there we go.
okay, but now can you share?
Let me try. Hold on, I need to. Okay, I'm going to share two. Yes. You were seeing like a TikTok
Yep,
or a video.
I can see that. Yep,
Okay.
let me see it.
All right. So I
Okay.
just need to practice with one thing then, making sure that I can share computer audio.
Yes.
And I don't know how to do that.
I'm in the settings and I'm looking at audio. Um,
Okay, I got it. I got it. Share
okay,
sound. There we go.
all right, good.
I'm going to play this and let me know if you can hear
Okay, yep, I can hear it. I heard it.
it. Okay. Great.
Hi, Helen.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for bringing the motivation to this community. Everyone is so isolated these days, especially
Oh,
Vancouver. It's raining all the time, and
oh,
people hiding their faces under umbrellas. But having someone who would bring the light and conversation bring some hope.
yeah. I know you live up there where it rains all the time, but we're glad to have you. So
That's true.
I'm in San Diego and it rained 2 inches today because we get lots of rain all at once. Not, I stayed home because I didn't want to fight it. Crazy.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Lots of rain here in Sunnyvale,
Oh
but
yeah.
but
You
we
guys
can
get a
use
lot.
but we can use the rain to fight the drought.
Oh yeah, we need it in California, so I'm not
Hmm.
complaining. I just figured out it's better for me to stay home when we get these crazy rains. But I like it when it rains. My plants are happy. Oh.
And then you don't have to water them yourself.
Yeah. Like, oh, it'll rain again. Oh, it's 6. Let's give it a few minutes. We had 50 people register, so 3 or 4 minutes and have other people join. Turn on. Will the captions bother you, Christina? Does it? Mm.
Are you talking to me,
Yeah. I'm
Katrina?
sorry, Katrina. I know. I'm sorry. I
No,
apologize a
actually,
thousand times again.
I think you asked. That's a good question. I'm glad you asked. Can you please turn on the captions?
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to make it as accessible as possible, so thank you. Some people join when they're at work too and can't listen to audio.
Yeah. Mm. Hi, Kevin and Irma. Nice to see you guys.
Hello,
How are you?
doing fine, thank you.
Thanks for joining. Excited to have Katrina here. Mm.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Katrina. I think maybe I have the caption settings wrong.
I am seeing it says captions, but it
Yeah,
is not in English.
yeah, I'm trying to change it. There we go. All right.
Like the captions are on, it's just not English,
All right, I set it to English.
which is interesting because
Ah,
mine is.
there we go.
There you go.
All right.
There you go. Because I was going to say that mine is in English, and I don't know why it was not showing, but we're good.
Okay. I think we can see it. Maybe just need a second. All right. Let's see. We have maybe give it one more minute and then we'll introduce Katrina. We'll try not to call you Christina. um, um, okay, whenever you're ready, Katrina, I will start the introductions.
Okay. Are you seeing the Power of a Great demo right now?
Get back over there. Oh, Ron's here. Let's let him in. So, yes, I see the
Yes, we
Power
see
of a
the
Great
slide.
demo. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So then I am ready whenever y'all are ready.
Okay, I'm gonna let Ron in because he is one of our leaders here. Hey, Ron. We're about to introduce Katrina. So, everybody, thank you for joining. We're super excited to have Katrina. She is the Scrum Mother, and I've worked with her, and I just think she's fantastic. So I'm really happy to have her on this meetup. She's an experienced senior Scrum Master and Agile coach with experience in Scrum, Kanban, team development coaching, backlog management, conflict management, and systems thinking. She's got great tips. She's very active in the Scrum Master world, and she's a great alumna of Kennesaw State University, where she earned an MS in conflict management in 2011 and a BDA in international business with marketing in Spanish in 2008. Advocate for utilizing vision boards and Kanban for goal setting, managing her personal day-to-day activities, and moving her own needle toward personal transformation. So I'm super excited to introduce you to her, and I'm just going to let Katrina take it from here because she's a fantastic speaker. So, hey,
Thank you
Ron.
so much, Miri. Hey, somebody else have something else they were trying to speak?
Maybe Ron. Hey, Ron. Can't hear you. We
Uh,
see you. There you are.
Greetings. Yes, thank you. And thanks for getting everyone introduced. Sorry I'm late.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Glad to have you.
Well, that's actually a great place to start. So, yes, we are here for me to chat about my experiences with the Power of a Great demo. But first and foremost, even before introducing myself, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being here when you could be anywhere else. And I appreciate you spending your time with us and to be able to hear me out. And Guillermo, you had your hand raised. Okay.
Sorry, I made
And
a mistake.
okay. So thank you. Yes, my name is Katrina Coker. I do go by the Scrum Mother. It was a term of endearment a previous team actually gave me, teammate. And so if we have time, I would be happy to tell you about that story. My mission is to teach, inspire, and move towards purpose, power, and progress. And I strive to, whatever I do, both personally and professionally, to live by this. But specifically in this world, that is the mission of my company. So the Scrum Mother is not just the cute name I have, it is actually the name of my company, the Scrum Mother LLC. And so that is my mission, with our logo being Move Your Own Needle. And that's partly of everything I do is try to share what I have learned. And so you're the only one that knows what you want to achieve and where you want to go and what you're trying to work on. So I'm here to help to try to give the tools and resources and kind of fill in the gaps to help you meet your own needs. All right. So just running down, setting some expectations here about what I'm going to go through is give you a little bit about myself, since some of you may have never met me before. We're going to actually go through some demo examples, get your feedback on your thoughts, yays and nays of them. We're going to talk about what makes for a great demo. I'm going to give you some tips that I have learned, some tips and tricks and some basics. We're going to have some time for Q&A and just some key takeaways that you can walk away knowing. So a little bit about myself. I am from Sugar Hill, Georgia. If you're familiar with Lake Lanier, that is where I am, near Buford Dam. And actually that picture that is on the top left-hand corner is the sunset over Buford Dam, which is part of the Chattahoochee River. And that's one of my favorite places to go. I live here in Sugar Hill, which is about 45 to 60 minutes north of Atlanta, with my two cats. Avery is the one on the right, the gray and white one, and Fiona is the black cat. They are both wandering around. So please bear with me because Avery had to go to the vet this morning. She's not feeling so great. So if you hear a really weird meow, it's likely her. And so just bear with me. As I said, as Mary actually mentioned, I am a full-time Scrum Master, Senior Scrum Master, Agile Coach. I work currently for Cox Enterprises. You also might know Cox Automotive or Cox Communications, which is part of the brand. So that is where my full-time job is during the day, but my nighttime job is I am a CEO, COO, coach, mentor, trainer, content creator. That's what I do in my spare time, in quotes. And then also there's some fun facts about me that some of you, if you are in the San Francisco area, you may recognize. I am forever a foodie. I love to eat and travel. And I just got back from a trip to San Francisco, where I specifically went out there for the Napa Valley Wine Train for my birthday. And then I just gallivanted around San Francisco while I was out there. So I got to have an infamous hot dog next to the Golden Gate Bridge, which was kind of super fun. So that's just a fun facts about me. And on that note, though, this is something I like to do if you are interested. I am a content creator on social media, where I do have a platform under the Scrum Mother. And if you are interested in coming on camera, I would love to be able to participate live in a TikTok right now, if you're interested. And if you are not, feel free to go off camera. No harm, no foul. Won't hurt my feelings. So I'll give you just a second to think about it. And you can come on camera if you'd like to be live on TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Otherwise, please let me know and you can stay off. All right. So we're gonna just do this real quick. And basically all it is music's playing on my phone, and there's just gonna be where I'm gonna show the screen. Okay. All right. You ready? Thumbs up. Good to go? All right. I'll do it again. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Wave. Anyone interested in waving? Looks like you're having fun. Woo! There you go. That's it. And you just participated possibly in your first TikTok. You could say you're internet famous now, but all for the right reasons. So that's just something fun that is part of my life. But that's obviously not why we're here. Thank you for participating in that, giving you a little bit of shout out. Thank you for having me. But we are here to talk about the demo, about a demo. Demo is short for demonstration. That can be really anything, but in our world, one of these things that I have come to is that I am a non-tech person on a tech team. That also means that I get to be the layman's terms. And I get to sit with our software developers and quality engineers as they are trying to present. Also, sometimes sitting with them before to be like, hey, you might want to clarify this, or helping them use examples that maybe anyone can better understand. But what I'm going to teach you today or go over today is really just anything that can help anytime you're in a public speaking platform. Well, my first question is going to be for y'all is what's the purpose of a demo? Why have a demo, specifically in our tech world? Let's see, Ron, what are you thinking?
So twofold. One is to show progress and to keep stakeholders out of our team room.
Okay.
And the other is to get some feedback on whether we're on the right track.
Okay. All right, let's see, Guillermo, you have a thought about what's the purpose of a demo? What do you think the value of having demos is?
Oh, well, externally of software is to showcase something to stakeholders. Particularly in Scrum, I'm not proponent to have demos, but reviews. But yeah, in some
Okay.
other contexts, yeah, demos to showcase progress and
Okay.
receive feedback.
Awesome. Let's see, Mary, what do you feel like is also a value of a demo from our context?
You know, I think I agree with Ron and a lot of what he said. You know, it's a great way to showcase to your stakeholders, but they don't have to be at every meeting. So this is what we've accomplished. Here's where we're going. This is what we're going to do next. So that's how I see them.
What happens, what would be reasons why we wouldn't want to demo? What happens if we don't demo?
They don't know we're
Wow.
making progress.
Yeah.
Usually, stakeholders call to cancel the meeting, or people around the team, they say no meeting because there is no demo.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to come back to that. We're going to come back to these. But first, before we come back to them, we're going to actually take a look at some demos. Okay. I'm going to show you two examples. All right. With this first one, okay, it is an intentional. It is intentional. But I am going to ask whether you are on camera or not. And my point of view also, this is fun stuff. You don't have to be on camera, but I would love your contributions. So whatever happens next, please react to it. Okay? And don't write me a bad review because of what's about to happen next. Okay? I'm just warning you. Whatever happens, please note, just react to it. All right. So give me just a minute. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Not seeing anything.
All right. Can you see it? Can you see my presentation now?
Nope.
No, I only see you.
Okay.
Or
You're
your
still not
screenshot.
seeing me.
We just see your screenshot. Yeah.
Oh, and now you're on mute.
You're mute. Yeah.
Yay.
Hey, there you go.
Well,
Presentation yet?
now we're back to slides.
All right. Can you see me at all yet? Can you give me a thumbs up
No.
if you can see me?
No.
Okay. All right. We're gonna try this one more time. All right. You can see my slide. Can you see my slides?
We see your slides.
Your slides.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you see me?
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was like, you can't see me. I can see myself.
To the top.
All right. So we're on to our demo. Guillermo, I'm coming back to you for this, okay? I have my presentation up, okay? Hola, ¿cómo están? Me llamo Katrina. Vivo en Sugar Hill de Georgia con mis dos gatos. Mi color favorito es azul, pero mi pelo está rosa. Me encanta caminando en la playa cerca del océano. Okay, the end. That's the demo. Now, let me ask you this. Who speaks Spanish? Guillermo, can you come off mute and tell me what did I say?
Yeah, I didn't get everything. Your accent is perfect. You said everything, but I couldn't remember. I was paying attention to the words and to the bananas. So
And
I
why is and what were your thoughts about that? What was I saying compared to what was on the screen?
you mentioned your two cats that you like. You live in the Bay, but I was trying to match what I was watching against what you tried to say, and something say, well, it's not matching. I get confused.
All right. So that is someone who speaks the language I was speaking, saying he was still confused, right? Because in my demo, I was presenting something that was disorienting. So I will tell you what I was. Oh, I need to plug it. Give me just a minute. This was not part of the show. I thought I had enough time actually. I've been using it nonstop. So, all right. So that's one lesson, right? So there's someone who speaks the language, but still is like, I don't know what's going on, right? So I'll tell you what I was saying. I said, now looking at our screen, look at the words, look at the bananas. This is what I said in Spanish. Hello, how are you? My name is Katrina. I live in Sugar Hill, Georgia with my two cats. My favorite color is blue, but my hair is pink. I love walking in the ocean or on the beach near the ocean. Now you know what it is in English. What are your thoughts? Anybody annoyed?
Now we have the same impression that Guillermo did before.
Yeah.
You were hoping Guillermo was going to be able to clear it all up for you and be like, this makes complete sense. All right. So we're going to come back to this whole lovely experience that wasn't so lovely. That was all part of demo. That was an example of a demo. Okay. Now I think you're going to appreciate the next demo. The next demo is actually one that I found. So I think it's a really good example. So give me just a minute because I do need to, we practiced this earlier. So give me just a minute while I make sure that you can hear. I am sharing sound. All right. So this is a demo. This is a live demonstration of this woman's product. For the ladies in the house, you may love this. For men, you might want to check this out for some of the ladies in your house. Okay. Are you seeing a cat on the screen? Ironically, that was unplanned. Okay.
Nordstrom, I'm
Can
so
you
sorry
hear?
that you gave me an inch and now I'm going to have to ask for 10 miles. For those of you that don't know me, hi, my name is Haley Pavoni and I'm the founder and CEO at Passion Footwear, where we've invented fully convertible high heels that turn into flats. A couple days ago, I made a video talking about how one of my dreams is to put shoe customization stations into Nordstrom. Nordstrom then left this comment. Naturally, I followed up with a pitch video because if I have anything, it's pure, shameless audacity. And then after I made that video, Miss Girl threw me a follow. Nordstrom, now that I have your attention, I would love to present a line plan proposal to you. I know usually we would do this in person, but your girl works with what she has. While this may look like I'm only pitching you on 3 shoe styles, it's actually vastly more than that. One of the main benefits of Passion and our shoe customization station is it's basically build a shoe, because all of our heel kits are interchangeable onto all of the shoes, allowing you to build a custom look and leave with it in store same day. Also, from a retailer perspective, this means you can store the value of quite a few pairs of shoes in this much space. My retail junkies out there, all I know is that revenue potential per square foot slays. Okay, I think that's enough context. Let's get into it. For an initial launch with Nordstrom, I would recommend carrying 3 of our shoe styles and an assortment of our heel kits that pair nicely with multiple of these. First up, our all-time bestseller, the Latte Sandal. Color is a great neutral. She can easily be dressed up or down. She's genuine leather and she's comfy as all get out. Obviously, you can pair her with any of the matching latte accessories, so I would definitely suggest that you carry, you know, the 4-inch and 3-inch block and stiletto combos that we all know and love. But if the customer is after a more casual look, you can steer her in the direction of the light stacked wood. If she's after something a little more trendy, I think this is a great match with our transparent heel. And if she's looking for something kind of in between those two, I think the cork is a great upscale basic. Don't forget, no matter how many heels you pick out for your bundle, each shoe is also a flat. The next shoe I would recommend is our Cool Knit Booty. It is another one of our best sellers, particularly in colder climates, of course. The stretch knit is ultra comfy. Vertical knit pattern is very flattering. And this is a performance grade knit, so she is water, dirt, and oil resistant. It's gonna be a fabulous match with any of our black accessories. She's another one that's ungodly easy to dress up or down. That trendy transparent look really looks fabulous on anything. Go a little more casual with light wood. Can lean into full-on glam with our sand rhinestone block. I think this is fun. Or we can take things to a whole new level by swapping out our sole support for a chrome gold one. Now we've got some gold bottoms for that with one of our gold heel kits. And voila! Stunning. I don't think you necessarily have to merchandise both of these in every store. Maybe you keep the boots in our colder climates, sandals in our warmer climates, swap them based on season. That's where you guys are the pros. But I also think we'd be remiss to not include an event shoe. Passions were made for events. This is the wedding shoe of 2024. Period. When I say wedding shoe, I don't just mean brides. I mean any woman at a wedding. Because obviously you want to wear heels, but after 2 hours on that dance floor, yeah, you're gonna be going down to flats. Now this one could be very interesting. This is our metallic gold Brenna. She was a limited edition holiday 23 release. She sold out like that. I think we could bring her back for Nordstrom. A little exclusive. Obviously, she'll be amazing with the gold stello as well as any of our gold heel kits. She's also going to be completely dance floor ready with the transparent. Even get me started on how stunning she's about to be with the rhinestone block. Obsessed. This would provide such a cool and unique and really unmatched experience for the consumer. Imagine she walks into the store looking for one shoe. Instead, she leaves with not one, not two, but 3, 4, 5, 6 different custom shoes that she gets to leave with same day. Interchange between to her heart's content. Repeatable customization really is the future of the fashion industry. It's better for her wallet, her storage, the environment, our bottom line, like you and me, this works. In your stock room, where I know value per square foot matters, you get to replace dozens of shoe boxes with heel kit boxes. Okay? This is the future of footwear, and I think Nordstrom should get there first.
All right. So when we think of the first demo versus the second demo, what did you love? What did you see that you love?
Well, the video was fun, so and engaging.
Okay,
A little bit,
fun with
a
video
little bit
engaging.
long. It was a little bit
Okay.
long, but it was good.
Okay.
Nice that she was passionate.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know if you caught it, but her footwear company is called Passionista. So like a fashionista, but with passion. So passion footwear. It's spelled Pashion. Let's
I
see,
thought it was
Helen
good
did
enough.
it.
I hope she got it into Nordstrom, so that's what I want to know.
It has been a thing between going back and forth between her and Nordstrom.
Yeah.
And actually, I messaged her, or I responded on her video and told her that I was going to use that as a great example for a great demo.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
All right. So, and we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that specific one. Now, how did that compare to the demo that I did?
Oh, that one was confusing to everybody, or at least to me.
It was confusing. It was probably very frustrating trying to even just get the presentation to work, right?
Yeah.
Now, I want to catch up. I want to point out that somebody made a good point that probably for this presentation, the demo was a bit long. However, it took probably 5 to 6 minutes of me doing of my demo time to just get to the presentation. Whereas her video was 4 minutes and 23 seconds. So in 4 minutes and 23 seconds, she was able to pitch to Nordstrom, show what the product does, show why it's important. She also was able to speak to Nordstrom's customers. What is the value? She's already showing she has a good following and that they would be coming into Nordstrom. People would be running into Nordstrom, right, to be able to purchase her brand, but also recognizing the scalability of size, right? What's it going to take? What's it going to take up? Why would Nordstrom want that many boxes, you know, in their stock room, right? But in mine, I think it highlights a few things. One is anytime we give a presentation, it can be very confusing if the things that are up on the screen are different than what we're talking about. People are, like Guillermo said, is looking, being like, I'm really confused. I don't understand these words that I'm hearing versus what is being presented to me. It's also an example of in our world where whether you're presenting technology, really any product, whether it's a software or physical hand, it's product development, right? So you're doing a demo, whether it's software or not, of if you have we have to be really attentive to making sure that we're not speaking another language, right? Sometimes I have been told when I've come into been a new Scrum Master somewhere and we're trying to get better at our sprint reviews, sprint demos, and they're completely silent. They're completely silent. Nobody's saying anything, or nobody's coming. Nobody's there. Now, we didn't have as much problem with people not showing up. Other product lines had experienced that. But when I started digging into it, trying to figure out from our stakeholders saying, hey, this is for you, right? This is for you. This is for us to be able to get better, and we need your feedback. Often they would say is, I don't even understand what they're saying. It's too technical. I don't think I'm the audience. That's what they say. I don't think I'm the appropriate audience for this because I just don't understand what they're saying. Now, people also would be saying, I don't understand what they're saying. So it's not that they're doing something wrong. I must be doing something wrong, right? But then when we come back to let them know to our stakeholders or anybody in our demos or our presentations, no, we actually need to be able to communicate this to you in a way that you understand. We also need to make sure that we're talking about the right things. So it's a constant balance between how much metrics do we review, how much on the back end talking about technical terms and upgrades do we talk about versus how much do we show from a UX perspective on the front end. It is a constant conversation depending on what we do. And from that perspective, when we do have things on the back end, how do we convey the value to people like myself who do not speak code? How do we convey it? And so the value of a great demo, I think we showed, is that in 15 minutes it took me to get to my points, which we basically, if that was a real presentation, we would have walked out and you had no idea. Even the person speaking the same language had no idea what was going on. How often does that happen? We walk out of a meeting and people don't even know what the point was, or we walk out specifically a demo. People are often quiet because they don't know enough to be able to ask questions, right? And whereas with Haley Pavoni from Passion Footwear, she got to what took me 15 minutes plus. She got to in 4 minutes and 23 seconds. Now, granted, she already had her customers' attention because Nordstrom started commenting on her pages and stuff like that. But Nordstrom didn't ask her to give them a pitch. And she didn't wait till they invited her to come into their office. She decided to take the time that she had to make it the less than 5 minutes, the most valuable offer she could present to them, an offer that they couldn't refuse. And what she did in that time is also show her product, show how it works, shows the versatility. She showed the why she even had the product to begin with, and the why of why they should invest in it, why they should continue showing it. I think that is the value of a great demo when you walk out, no matter how long it is, even if there is not a demo, what you can speak to it to make everybody feel like it was a productive time of their day. So I'm going to ask y'all this, based off your experiences, based off of what we saw here, what are other additional characteristics that you feel like make for a great demo?
I would go slightly outside of the demo and the skills of the presenter, like Scrum Master who leads the meeting. You need the trust between the stakeholders and the team in order to have the meaningful discussion, because everyone here can have amazing presentation skills. And we have a talent to lead a group of engineers or lead a group of stakeholders, but how to reach the goal of the demo, which is, as you guys put correctly, to show the progress, to get the feedback, and to correct your next steps. It requires slightly bigger investment into the company culture, relationship, and of course processes. But great news is we have us, Scrum Masters, who are skilled to change the world.
Yes, so thank you, Helen. Well, but you also bring up a good point. Sometimes you need the trust in the relationship building before you ever walk in the room. But what if you don't present well and it's actually a trust losing opportunity? It could be a trust building opportunity, meaning that people walk in the room, maybe they thought your department and your product was useless, right? And maybe you don't want to be there. But because there was a good presentation, a way to appeal to the audience, to speak to them in a way they know, that all of a sudden you're like, they walk out of the room, they're like, oh, well, maybe they're not useless after all, right? That's the worst thing that could be said, right? That could be the worst thing that be said, but that's where it starts. So sometimes we do need to know who our audience is, and we've spent enough time trying to gain. Helen brings up a wonderful point. Gain before we ever walk in the room. What is it that they want to know, and why are we there? Because sometimes it's when we're giving a demo, it's just informational, right? We don't ask anything of our audience. It's just, hey, an FYI. Hey, we want you to know what's going on. Other times when it comes to Scrum, we're actually asking for their feedback. And we have to, but we need to know, we need to know what we need their feedback on. So what is the ask of our audience? We also need to know what is it that they're asking of us, right? I've had teams to where our stakeholders to where they're asking over and over again, only to go over, they really want to see more of the front end user experience during our reviews. And they said they keep getting the back end. We keep just showing descriptions, or we keep talking about it, but we're not giving them what they need. So to them, it's not as valuable of their time. But the value of asking for feedback before, during, and after of how we can make it be a productive use of everybody's time, and also built as a trust and relationship building opportunity. Great point of view, Helen. What else from your perspective have you seen makes for a great demo? When you leave maybe any presentation, when you leave a great presentation, you're like, man, that was good. That was fun. What does that look like to you?
Well, it's always good when it's engaging. Like, I've been in meetings recently where people just read off of a PDF. It wasn't fun. So, and it didn't really get to what we needed to accomplish. Just, that's frankly kind of a waste of time. So,
well, you actually go to another question. What are challenges to us achieving? Helen mentioned if we don't have trust. You mentioned if we're just reading, we're not engaging. What are other challenges to us to achieve? Like when we think of what are characteristics of a great demo, what prevents us from achieving that?
Well, it's not relevant to the audience, as you mentioned in the beginning, too technical for business or not technical enough for technical stakeholders.
Or when we just annoy people in general because we didn't prepare and we don't know how to get our technology right, our actual presentation, which isn't always our fault, right? sometimes you present in a room that you're not used to. Maybe somebody was out of office. We've had where one teammate was supposed to be presenting the demo and somebody else picked it up last minute. But for the most part, one of the first ways we're going to lose our audience is by annoying them, is by not being prepared, not being on time, and not knowing why we're there. Any other challenges? Let's see, Ron, what are your thoughts? What have you seen to where we know what a great demo looks like, but what would keep us from getting there?
Yeah, I think there's too often a focus on output instead of outcomes, and outcomes being value for customers. And so you can do an analogy with the daily stand-up where people tell you everything they did yesterday, and that's not what the stand-up's for. The stand-up is for sharing the progress that we've made today, that we've made over the last day, toward the goal of the sprint if we're doing Scrum. With a demo, our goal is to share the progress that we're making on behalf of customers, and to be able to demonstrate that and visible demonstration of that, which is yeah, there's some database there, and the reason we're seeing it is because there's some UI that goes with it that shows off what we did in the database.
And you bring up an excellent point as to one of the valuable things of a great demo is it shows people what we're capable of, right? When we say, this is what we've done, this is how it works, then people go, oh, well, can you do this other thing for me? Start asking more questions. And that also gets into a sales perspective. We are in a sales role where whether people like it or not, we just are not always selling to someone who's physically, purchasing our product, right? We're selling to people. We're letting them know our team, well, as an individual or as a team, this is what we bring value. This is what we can accomplish. This is what we can and cannot do. And if you like what we do, please send us more work your way. But if we are unable to communicate our value, communicate what we're doing at all, and being able to showcase it in a way that's understandable, why would anybody continue to reach out to us? They actually might avoid us. They might go, ooh, do I really want to work with that team? Can another team do it? Because they're able to explain it to me better. If I have questions, this other team, this other group is able to communicate it more fluidly. Okay, great points. So then the question is, what are the things you need for any demo? For any demo, when you get started, what do you have to have? Your MVP. Let's see, Louise, I know you don't have to speak up, but I want to give you opportunity. What are your thoughts? And you were raising your hand.
Perfect. All right, so let me close this one. So what I actually do, so I am a Scrum Master and I work for banks, the big banks in Toronto, Canada. For us, the demo is extremely important because we are working with the senior directors, VPs, etc. So we do have the first thing, what you also raised and mentioned, basically, it's very important. We do have an understanding of the stakeholders, even the tech folks, because we are working very closely with them. So the presentation is always, we have 5 to 10 points, an agenda, a deck exactly as you have. So we are going through the points. I would start with whatever the presentation, and then I will have 1 or 2 developers do the presentation, the technical, running the demo actually of the module. Now, the difference, what we are doing, we always rehearse in advance. So for 15 minutes or 30 minutes, one day before or on, a couple of hours before the presentation, we are actually rehearsing. The technical, developers will write it down, the file that they are going to run it, the use case, Why? Because we want to make sure that it's running perfectly. You don't scramble in the last moment when you have directors or VP in front of you. So by doing this presentation rehearsal, then we have always a beautiful demonstration. So we understand the audience, that's number one. We are demonstrating the most important points that they want to see, whatever we develop for that particular sprint. And we are also showing them the technical information, you know, whatever the module is doing. And then we are waiting as well immediately after for the feedback, or we have the discussion. So my role as a Scrum Master is to build this relation of understanding of the stakeholders. And once you build this relation, then all the demos are basically going to be a very smooth ride. But we have to have the, as I mentioned, the dry run or the dress rehearsal, what do you want to say, such that we repeat it over and over and we know that it's going to be perfect.
Wonderful. I will say I have only worked with one team that had a formal demo prep, and they were the most organized. I have to say they were the most organized out of the most prepared. Now I know people that teams that I work right now, they prepare on their own. So they do a dry run. But that one sprint team, they had every sprint, they had a demo prep session, and I highly recommend that. All right, so just get a few other things. Let's see, Guillermo, what does any demo need? What do you need for the MVP of a demo?
I believe it's like a child when I have kids. So when you take the kids to any store and they see a toy, they like to touch, they like to play with this thing. For me, the most important thing is you. Let's say you ask someone to draw your face, or like instead of pictures, drawing. Like in all centers, they do the drawing. So they drew some sketches, and you want to check, is that the right thing? Is that how I expected? If not, I can just provide feedback. So it's, as I mentioned, it's like a child. For me, it's, I need to play with the thing. I need to play with the product. I need to see that this is working for me. So the most important is I'm the stakeholder. I'm the person who requested this. I need to play with it. Otherwise, a technical person, a developer is showing me things. He knows how these things works. I don't. I want to play to then provide feedback.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Guillermo. Great perspective. So this is a little bit of a trick question. Okay, a little bit of a trick question we're going to come back to. All of y'all said it was amazing. But to start off, I want to affirm all you need is you and your product. What you can accomplish, your MVP. You can have a presentation if you want. You can have, lights, camera, action, all of this. But I want to affirm you that really all you need is you and your product, and that's the best place to start. Now, there are ways we can make a demonstration or a presentation more keep people's attention, but really I want to start with just you, and knowing that even if just like looking back at Haley, yes, she had music on the TikTok and whatnot, but she just had her product there. She was just speaking. She wasn't on didn't have any special cameraman or light or additional lighting. She had what she was bringing to the table. Literally, she was bringing herself and her product to the table. So on that note, things to consider for a great demo. Again, I'm here to affirm you, and that knowing that when you are giving a presentation, you deserve to be there, right? Even if you're just a beginner, you deserve to be there. There is a reason, and you can learn from it, and that we have to start somewhere. I did not just start out, I just didn't start going to conferences and speaking. I had to start at a meetup like this, or you can start at something small, like if you want to do Instagram or TikTok, or start with a small audience. to where you can film yourself and not have to get live feedback, and you can work yourself up. But know that you deserve to be there, that you are a professional with expertise, and this is your showcase. So anyone who's giving a demo specifically within our world that's working in product development or specifically utilizing Scrum, is that the company doesn't exist without their product, and we're the builders for the most part, right? So we are the experts, and we are the ones who know literally the ins and outs. And I want to honor that, and that we are the teacher and not the informant. In that moment, we are the ones that is our expertise, and we are making sure that other people know why it's important. And if they walk out and doesn't know why it's important, then that's the part that we have to work on. So some of the demo basics that I go with, this is really just basic. When we're talking about MVP, starting off with a clean appearance, you and your surroundings, right? How many times are people giving presentations at home and maybe their background is not quite organized, which can be distracting, or virtually or in person, people are not attentive to their hygiene. I told Mary I was eating dinner right before this, and even for virtual presentations where you cannot smell me, I will put deodorant on and I will brush my teeth and make sure that also we look like we want to be there and that we are taking it serious. So that's the first, one of the most basic things. I prefer, when I give a presentation in a virtual environment, I always have my camera on, right? Not everybody doesn't have to, but I think that specifically for anyone presenting, this is what I tell my Scrum teams as well, that when you are presenting, to have your camera on. And we actually just recently, someone on our team had their camera on, and somebody in the stakeholder or in our audience commented, "Oh my gosh, you have your camera on. I don't think I've ever seen you in the amount of time that I've worked with you," because they're a remote employee. They've never seen their face. They're like, "Oh, it's so good to see your face." So people notice. It's maybe not necessarily always required, but it is helpful. And with our tools, as you saw, I did not have my computer plugged in. Now I literally didn't have it plugged in for maybe an hour or so. Maybe I got to work on that. But being prepared, showing up, test. Mary and I sat here and worked through it, and then she was able to help me make sure that y'all could hear the video. So we tested it. So anything we're doing, testing out to make sure that everything is being communicated properly, right? If I had just been playing that video, maybe y'all didn't say anything or I didn't know it, we would have either had to start the video over, or you wouldn't have got anything out of it. You would have been like, "I don't know, she played this video, but I couldn't hear anything." I also always prefer introducing myself. Oftentimes we get on, or I don't know if y'all have noticed this, but on sprint reviews where the team is used to working with each other, so they don't automatically think to introduce themselves because they are working with their teammates. But even with stakeholders, I know our calls can have 50 plus people on them, and there are people who are coming in and out. Some people have never met our teammates. Some people have never met the actual person presenting. So I just think name and role, start introducing yourself. And I think that it's it is a best practice. I don't think it's really ever going to hurt. As Louise brought up, having an agenda, what you will cover versus what you will not cover. One of the primary reasons why people tell me they hate Scrum is because there's too many meetings. And when we talk about too many meetings, they say because they don't know the value of each of our meetings. So for those of you who love Wicked, she says, or I'm sorry, not Wicked, Frozen, let it go. Tell people what you're going to tell them, then let them go. Don't hold them hostage. Be very clear as to what's in scope versus what's out of scope. Narrative. This is a part that we have to work, that tends to be the biggest struggle for people. What is the story you're trying to tell? And what did you do? Why did you do it? And what is your outcome? Think of our the video with Haley Pavone. And if you didn't actually catch it, I do recommend going back and watch it because I feel like it's really, really good. She just did a really good job. She didn't even just start off going, "Okay, Nordstrom, this is my pitch." she said, you reached out to me, you did these things. So she told her narrative of this is where we are up to this point, right? So she told her narrative up to this point. And then she said, so this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, because you asked me for it. You kind of indirect asked me for it, right? And then she described it, and she told she did her demo, but then she also mentioned what she expected out of her next steps. If you caught it at the very end, she was like, I did my pitch and I would love to be able to hear from you, right? So she told them what she wanted of them. I think Guillermo, you had actually mentioned this, being able to play with it. Can be really hard in our environment with sometimes doing virtual demos, because sometimes people want to have those in-person conversations or be able to click around on their own. So showing visuals as much as possible, screenshots, pictures, a physical demo. This is one that when we get into those questions about, we did all this stuff on the back end, we're just not going to demo. We're not going to show it in the sprint review. And saying, okay, well, there has to be a way we can convey the value of what we've been working on without having to just disregard it. Because the other side of that is when we don't show it, nonetheless, leaders go, well, that wasn't very much. Why? What are they working on? They didn't have anything to show in demos. I'm like, yeah, well, you also just told them that their demos are too technical. So, working through it. But what my teammates now will do, if they have something that's really technical, and or if it's not finished, they will pull our backlog management work item up, and we'll actually show the description and walk through it, and they'll tell where we are, saying this is what you asked for, this is what we've done so far, this is what's remaining. That is a visual that people, in my experience, have responded to. The more we can show graphs and we can show from a user experience, or from a back end where some of our teams will show the technical architecture, and then we'll also highlight it in colors. This is what we've completed. It's green. This is what we're working on. This is what didn't work out. So having as something that you can physically show your customers as much as possible. Ask for questions or feedback. One of the things that I try to do during our sprint reviews, and my product owner, and this is not just, I'm using the context of sprint reviews because we demo more frequent, right? But you may be in a role, or your team may be in a role that you're not demoing as frequently as, 1 to 4 weeks, right? Is asking for feedback. And during our reviews, I will say the value of this reviews is we need y'all, and this is what we've had to do. If you have any feedback about whether you're getting something out of this, is there anything that we're going over that is not valuable for you or not beneficial to you, and that we can kind of get a consensus as to what our audience wants to come to hear about, and try to do as much as we can to get a little bit, and trying to also create an agenda as much as possible with a timeline so that people can join at different parts of the meeting if they don't want to be there the whole time. And then next steps, as I said, with Haley Pavoni's example, she finished her demo, and then she says, this is what I ask of you. Like, I'm ready. She says, I'm like, I'm ready. Come, you know where to find me, basic. So she put it onto, she made sure that they knew what her ask was. And that's what we can do anytime. You can either say, know your why of, I have no ask for you. This is just to loop you in. We just wanted you to know. Please give us feedback, but the intention here is not for you to do anything. We just want to keep you in loop. Whereas other times being very clear, we need you to come because we need your feedback on this specific thing. Because oftentimes, at least in my teams, when we are having a large audience on our reviews, unless we tell them specifically, hey, this is going to be really important for you to come, sometimes people will just come when they're available. So trying to be as specific as intentional. I think someone else, Helen, mentioned the relationship building. It's being very intentional before, during, and after, I think, is what makes the presentation be much more valuable. So before we go on, any questions that you have? about from delivering a great demo, or just your an initial feedback, things that you've seen that I haven't covered?
I just say I have an example. If you
Okay.
let's say that you order a sport car, 2 seats. So even when I build in the back end, let's say the back end is the engine, you want to test the engine, you need to take the driver's seat. That's why I say for me it's important to play with this. It doesn't matter if the car is small or it's different. I want to see the car. I want to see the color as well. I want to see that the steering wheel is enough for me. It's not too big, not too small. I can see it properly in the car. So that's what I say. For me, it's important to test it, to touch it, to play with it. The engineers, they know how to play with this. Also, that's allowed me to provide feedback to the team. The car is too big, the car is too small, the engine is too noisy. Whatever I find on here. So for me, that's important.
Very good. Thank you so much, Guillermo. See, anything else that you've observed about demos that I haven't talked about that you feel like is important to note? Okay. So then as we just think about moving forward and just key takeaways, again, I'm here to affirm you. I want to encourage everybody to be able to practice public speaking at some point, because even if you're doing what I'm doing or you're doing what Mary's doing, hosting, it's a skill set. So I always like to encourage people to try, and that I want to be as affirming as possible because I can help teach you, right? Your voice matters. You're a professional with expertise. A demo is just displaying what you've built. It's displaying your expertise, and why a lot of people don't want a demo because they don't see the value. And I'm like, because it's your opportunity to shine a light on yourself and to shine a light on what you can do. Know your audience and the purpose of your demo. Know the why. Know who is going to be in the room, what they're looking for, what we want them to be looking for, and what our ask of them is. And then keep it simple as much as possible. You don't need glitz and glamour for a powerful demo. You can have that stuff and it be a fun, enticing demo, but it's not required for every single demo, which is why people that can be get nervous to present and give a demo, they're often thinking, well, I'm not very good, or I don't do all these things. And that's okay. We can start simple. It can make it fun. But all you need for this to be successful is really will and effort, and we can grow from there. I had one of my teammates that he even said it not annoyed him, stressed him out when people gave feedback while he was presenting, like stopped the question. And he said that he was just learning to be better at public speaking. And so I coached him on, ask them that, say, hey, I'm still new. Can you please save your questions for the end? And actually, when I was in San Francisco, I went to an event out there. I went to a poetry reading, actually. And one of the other poets that was reading, that's what she said. She said, can you please hold any applause or questions to the end, because it makes me nervous. It messes me up. So I think that's just a way to help with it. And then the more practice, the easier it will become, no matter what that looks like. And in terms of getting that experience, Toastmasters International, if you're not familiar with them, I highly recommend them as an organization. Their whole goal is to help be better public speaking. I joined, I'm not a current member, but I was before, because I do really well with planned and organized presentations, but I don't do well with extemporaneous speaking. So I joined to try to get better when somebody would ask me a question and I could answer on the spot or without having time to think about it. And I do feel like it has gotten much better. Also, another thing that I want to call out is some people may be dyslexic or have other issue, maybe have speech impediment. And I want to encourage people that that's okay too. and that we can get better at it. I personally tell people I've not been diagnosed, but I tell people that I often have what feels like verbal dyslexia. And this is no joke actually, where I will say, and I distinctly remember this person's name was like Cal, right? My name is Katrina. I said, "Hi, Katrina, my name is Cal." And everybody started laughing. And I was like, I was so embarrassed because I switch words. Or if something is cat and dog, I'll say dat and cog. It happens so regularly that I probably should get tested for it. But on that note, Toastmasters has actually made that better to where I've gotten more comfortable and not it's an anxiety thing, but still I want to recognize that some people will not be in a position like I am because they're afraid of their ability. But that's it, y'all. Thank you so much for having me. I love public speaking, and I know it's not for everybody. I know everybody doesn't love it, but I do think it's a good skill that we can all acquire, and that I believe everybody can do it with the right coaching, and then also not having to go crazy. But thank you for having me. I appreciate it, and I'll turn the floor back over to Mary. But I'm here for any other questions, concerns, thoughts.
Thank you. That was just really great. I enjoyed every minute of it. So, whatever you guys would like to ask Katrina, she's got a boatload of knowledge. So if there's any other questions or we'd like to open up to discussion, then we can do that for a few minutes too.
And any questions on the table. I'm an open book, so it doesn't have to be about demos either.
Garmo, do you have anything? Or Louise, or anybody that didn't get a chance to speak yet? We want to include you all. So.
I think, if I may,
yeah, absolutely.
What I would work with my team, because as you mentioned, some of them are really, really technologists, right? So they do have a specific tech language. Once you tell them that the purpose of actually demo is to show and you want to make them look good because they did all this work for the 2 weeks and all that, then I think they start to be a little bit more interested in presenting, and especially after the rehearsal, they start to actually to enjoy the demos, where, as Katrina mentioned at the beginning, developers will be actually, they will not like to talk, they will hate actually the demos and all these things. But once they understand that is this collaboration that we have with the business and stakeholders, both parties are actually trying to make a very good presentation and discussion and very good feedback at the end and all that stuff. So it's letting them know that that's the purpose of the demo, having this conversation, having the feedback immediately, not after months of work when the changes will be very difficult to make.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Louise.
Anybody else like to, Ron, do you have something you want to contribute?
Yeah, no, actually.
I do have a question, and I like to ask this at the end of my coaching sessions, as well as this, is, was this valuable for you? Did you learn something? And was there anything that was not valuable or not beneficial?
Well, I liked it. I learned a lot. So I have a new team I'm working with, so this is helpful. We're just now starting the Agile journey with them. So
Mary?
Excited.
I think talking through the why demo is a useful conversation to have.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Louise in my experience when it can actually go one or two ways. My teammates get more interested when we tell them, hey, this is a career advancement opportunity for you. This is part of your career to be able, hey, at any given point, we could have one of our C-suite, our VPs, our chief executive officer in our sprint reviews at any time. And this helps highlight what we're doing at all levels of the organization. They get excited and interested, but they also get very nervous that they get this perspective of like, oh, well, now I don't want a demo. But they at least understand the value. Whereas without saying what demo Louise mentioned, then it just feels like, oh, we're just in another meeting. Hi, Rob. Welcome.
Yeah, to add on to that, I think that I find that developers rise to the occasion. And since the event is usually at the end of the sprint too, it motivates them to get the work done because it should be release ready, right, to demo. Then that's kind of a debate that I've had is like, is the work actually totally done by the point of sprint review if it's on the last day of the sprint? But yeah, virtually always they rise to the occasion and do a great job and are rewarded for it.
You actually bring up a really good point of conversation that comes up pretty much every opportunity I've had as a Scrum Master is, if something is not done, what's the point of demoing it? Do we demo anything? Do we talk about, do we even bring it up, right? And where my teams currently have decided that they, even if it's not done, they will talk about it, but those are the use cases to where they may not have something to show. They may not even have screenshots to show, but they will pull up the work item. And so they will be, their screen share is the backlog management tool. So we use Target Process. I don't know if y'all know what that is. It's like Jira, Rally. It's just another tool. So they will pull up the user story with the description and the ask, and they will talk through that. And I think that seems to be helpful because sometimes the people, our stakeholders, are the ones that helped create that. So it's just more of a key indicator of, okay, I know what they're talking about, but they may not have anything completely done to show. But at demo, that's what they do.
Well, in that case, it could be a teaser to get the stakeholders to show up next time with interest.
You are absolutely correct.
It puts the team on the spot, though. They better deliver.
It can go both ways, but I agree with you. It starts to be where, but that's also what my personal coaching perspective on that is you have done some work, like you have brought value, right? We're maybe not as far as we would like to be, but we have got a portion of it completed this far. So, being able to tell people that I don't think there's ever a problem with over communicating. And so saying, hey, this is what our ask was. We thought we were going to have it all done by then, but at least this is where we're at. I think people tend to respond well to that.
Right. And that's honest too. Yep.
And most of the time, at least in my experience, people are really only disruptive if it's late and we don't have any information and we haven't talked about it. But when we start to loop them in, I think that's helpful. So thank you so much.
Sure.
Well, thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it. It was good spending my Thursday evening with you. And this is a presentation I have actually been asked to do other places too. So if you have feedback on what else you think should be included versus not included, my whole goal was to keep it simple, since that's especially one of my key takeaways. But if there's something that you felt like was too elementary, or I think that Helen mentioned the demo with the TikTok was too long, that kind of stuff, I'm happy to receive your feedback.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katrina. We really appreciate it. It's really great to have you.
Thank y'all so much.
Nice
y'all have
a
a great evening wherever you are.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
On the resources slide, I think you have a typo of Toaster Masters instead of Toastmasters.
Oh, I think she disappeared.
Yeah, it looks like
it's late on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you all.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for showing up. It was really great to see you and participating too.
Likewise. Good one, guys. Stay dry if you're in California.
Yeah, you're in the Bay Area.
Yep.
Yeah.